Emotions are not the enemy, but letting them lead is how you lose the war. You feel anger, let it pass. You feel fear, let it pass. You feel love, let it pass too. Nothing stays, nothing owns you, unless you let it. The Stoics never said don't feel. They said don't become what you feel. You're not your rage, you're not your grief, you're not the story. Your sadness tries to write for you. At 2 a.m., you're the one watching all of it. Still, unmoved, aware. Most people are emotional slaves. They react, then regret, then repeat, a look, a comment, a trigger, and they spiral. Why? Because they never learned to hold the flame without getting burned. But you can pause, you can breathe, you can feel it all without acting on any of it. Self-control isn't suppression, it's separation. A clean line between what you feel and what you choose. Emotions are visitors. Let them knock, let them pass. Don't build them a room. Feel the storm without leaving your center. Feel the pull without following it. Because power isn't in staying calm, it's in holding the chaos without letting it spill. You can cry, but don't collapse. You can rage, but don't ruin. You can ache, but don't abandon yourself. Feel it all, but react to nothing. That's not cold, that's control. You're not drowning in your own emotions. You're drowning in other people's chaos that you kept letting in. Not everyone should have access to you. Not everyone should get to speak into your peace. Not everyone deserves a key to the quiet parts of your mind. The Stoics knew this. They guarded their space like a fortress, not out of fear, out of respect for the discipline they built. You say you're overwhelmed, but maybe it's not yours. Maybe you're carrying noise that doesn't belong to you. Their urgency, their anger, their drama, their need for you to hold it all. You don't have to hold it. You can let it fall, let it break, let them call you distant, while you stay whole. Energy is a filter, and when yours is clean, even standing next to chaos feels like silence. But first, you have to choose who gets to stand next to you. Stop inviting in people who thrive in noise. Stop explaining your calm to people who weaponize your silence. Stop opening the door every time someone knocks with guilt in their voice and fire in their hands. You're not here to rescue everyone from the storms they started. You're here to protect the stillness you bled for. So start with who you let in. That's not selfish, that's survival. Because self-control isn't just what you hold, it's what you no longer allow. Peace is not a personality, it's a standard, and not everyone qualifies. You teach people how to treat you. Every yes, every delayed no, every time you made yourself small to keep the peace, it adds up. And soon, you're not setting boundaries, you're surviving without them. The Stoics weren't accessible, they were available to truth, to reason, to discipline. But not to every voice, not to every pull, not to every opinion that tried to shake their center. You don't need to explain why you're quiet, why you're late to reply, why you no longer show up for chaos disguised as connection. You just need to stop apologizing for protecting your mind. Boundaries are not aggression. They're direction. They tell the world, this is where I end, and you do not cross. And when someone calls it selfish, good. Let them leave. Because people who benefit from your lack of limits will always call your boundaries a problem. You don't owe constant access, you don't owe emotional labor, you don't owe your peace to people who treat it like it's disposable. So build the fence, tight, clear, unapologetic. Let your no be short, be clean, be sacred. They'll call you different, they'll say you changed, but they're not wrong. You did. You stopped bleeding to keep them comfortable. And now, you speak less, you check less, you give less, not from bitterness, but from clarity. Because your energy is not public property, it's earned, not assumed. So set the boundary, not as a defense, as a standard, and hold it like your life depends on it. Because sometimes it does. Detachment isn't emptiness, it's order. It's choosing what stays, it's knowing what to drop. It's not a wall, it's a filter. The Stoics practiced this daily. They didn't kill their emotions, they mastered them. They felt, then stepped back. They loved, but without losing themselves. They suffered, but without becoming the suffering. You think love means holding on, but sometimes it means knowing when to release, to walk away, not because it stopped mattering, but because you started mattering too. Detachment is not lack of care. It's care with clarity. It's saying, I can feel this, but I will not sink into it. You're not cold, you're clear. You're not numb, you're disciplined. You're not shutting down, you're choosing not to drown. Most people let their emotions drag them, through decisions, through arguments, through cycles that never end. But you pause, you see the wave, you nod, you breathe, but you don't surf every swell that passes through your chest. Detachment is power. The power to stay when everyone else runs. The power to walk when everyone else clings. The power to choose even when the heart screams otherwise. Because strength isn't in reacting. It's in refusing to be ruled by the reaction. So hold the line. Not because you're emotionless, but because your emotions no longer lead. You do. There's a place no one can reach. No voice, no pull, no demand, it's yours. And you forgot how to live there. The Stoics lived from the inside out. They didn't wait for peace, they entered it. Not as an escape, as a base. As the only place where clarity wasn't a negotiation. You keep reacting because you keep leaving. Leaving your breath, leaving your posture, leaving your center, to meet the chaos where it lives, but you don't belong there. You never did. You belong inside. Inside the quiet, inside the discipline, inside the pulse that doesn't need validation to know it's real. Return. Before you explain, before you reply, before you adjust to make them feel more comfortable. Return. Because when you stay inside, you stop giving away parts of you just to be heard by people who don't listen. Your inner world isn't a waiting room, it's a fortress, a temple, a command center, and no one should enter without your permission. So stay. Stay when they mock your silence. Stay when they beg for reaction. Stay when the urge to fix, prove, explain rises like a fire. Let it rise, let it burn, let it pass. But you stay. The world will not get quieter, but you can. Not by shutting out, but by shutting in, by returning, again and again, to the place that never moved, even when you did. Peace is not a destination, it's a position. And you hold it by staying where noise can't reach. You feel a lot, and that's not weakness. That's signal, that's depth, that's range. The issue is not how much you feel, it's how easily those feelings hijack your actions. The Stoics felt deeply. They just didn't bow. They stood, they breathed, they chose, even when the storm inside begged them to break. You think emotional strength means feeling less. It doesn't. It means staying solid when your insides scream. It means holding form when the waves hit. It means ruling your own nervous system like a sovereign. You're not here to be numb. You're here to feel fully, then act wisely. And that wisdom? It's quiet, it's slow, it's deliberate. Not driven by urgency, not provoked by noise, but carved through repetition. Discipline, stillness. Self-control isn't natural, it's trained. Moment by moment, impulse by impulse, you pause, you breathe, you respond, or not at all. Not because you're cold, but because you've decided that your center is more sacred than anyone's chaos. So no, you don't need to feel less. You just need to stop obeying every emotion as if it were truth. Feel, but don't follow. Love, but don't lose yourself. Hurt, but don't collapse, because you're not here to be ruled by anything that enters and leaves without your permission. You rule you. And that is the final form of emotional power.